is the condition I call mojo. It is the moment when we do something that's purposeful, powerful, and positive, and the rest of the world recognizes it. This audiobook is about that moment, how we can create it in our lives, how we maintain it, and how we recapture it when we need it again. To some degree, we're all familiar with mojo. If you've ever given a speech and done it well, you know the feeling. I realize that public speaking is one of people's greatest fears. Many people would rather crawl through a snake-filled swamp than talk in front of a crowd. But if you're a remotely successful adult, chances are you've had to speak in public at some point. It might be a sales pitch to a customer. It might be an internal presentation when you defend your work to your bosses and peers. It might be a eulogy at a loved one's funeral, or a toast at your daughter's wedding. Whatever the occasion, if you've done it well, if the audience hangs on every word, nods in agreement, laughs at your jokes, and applauds at the end, you've created the same feeling that was spreading across Chrissy's high school gymnasium. You're firing on all cylinders, and everyone in the room senses it. That is the essence of mojo. The word mojo originally referred to a folk belief in the supernatural powers of a voodoo charm, often in the form of a piece of cloth or small pouch. That's what Muddy Waters was referring to in his song, "Got My Mojo Working." That quasi-superstitious meaning persists for some people. I know one entrepreneur who doesn't go to work without playing 5 hands of gin rummy with his wife. If I win, he told me, I've got my mojo. If she wins, I don't sign any contracts that day. Over time, the word has evolved to describe a sense of positive spirit and direction, especially in the shifting tides of sports, business, and politics. It could be a politician in a tight election coming off a couple of weeks of successful, error-free campaigning that results in a favorable jump in the polls. Suddenly, the pundits anoint him as the candidate in the race with mojo. It could be a colleague who pulls off a string of money-making deals. Suddenly, everyone has to admit, some grudgingly, that she is on a roll, that she's found her mojo. To other people, mojo is a more elusive sense of personal advancement through the world. You're moving forward, making progress, achieving goals, clearing hurdles, passing the competition, and doing so with increasing ease. What you are doing matters, and you enjoy doing it. Sports people call this being in the zone. Others describe it under the umbrella term flow. My definition of mojo spins off from the great value I attach to finding happiness and meaning in life. Mojo plays a vital role in our pursuit of happiness and meaning because it is about achieving 2 simple goals: loving what you do and showing it. These goals govern my operational definition. Mojo is that positive spirit toward what we are doing now that starts from the inside and radiates to the outside. Our mojo is apparent when the positive feelings toward what we are doing come from inside us and are evident for others to see. In other words, there's no gap between the positive way we perceive ourselves, what we are doing, and how we are perceived by others. 4 vital ingredients need to be combined in order for you to have great mojo. The first is your identity. Who do you think you are? This question is more subtle than it sounds. It is amazing to me how often I ask people this question and their first response is, well, I think I'm perceived as someone who. I ask them to stop immediately saying, I didn't ask you to analyze how you think other people see you. I want to know who you think you are. Taking everyone else in the world out of the equation, including the opinions of your spouse, your family, and your closest friends, how do you perceive yourself? What follows is often a long period of silence as they struggle to get their self-image into focus. After people think for a while, I can generally extract a straight answer. Without a firm handle on our identity, we may never be able to understand why we gain or lose our mojo. The second element is achievement. What have you done lately? These are accomplishments that have meaning.